This new dancer was staring at the stage. However, what attracted her wasn't the performance on the stage. Because she found out those dance moves weren't difficult. But the men below were continuously throwing money at the dancer. And they seemed so happy and excited. She could only watch that dancer take a bunch of money in her hand, and then left. She was really jealous of this. Compared to those pretty dancers, she looked like an ugly duck. So men didn't care about her. She was even despised by the girls she worked with. However, there was something even more tragic. The money she earned would be taken away by the boss 40%. Even the disco guard still pressed and demanded money from her. She had to go through such miserable days. Until one day, she met someone who could change her destiny. That was the trump card of the disco, the sexy goddess named Ramona. Seeing that, she quickly went to Ramona to ask for help. Ramona was also a very generous person. After that, they gradually became close friends. She was Ramona's supporter. Just like that, the two started working together. Ramona told Destiny that if she wanted to make money, she had to look at customers. However, customers were divided into 3 classes. The lowest class were salaried people. They were quite poor. So those people would give very little money. The middle class was mostly unkind people, and they were also very greedy. They didn't give much money either. Don't be mesmerized by those people. The top class were all young masters who were rich and stupid. When seeing beautiful girls, they would be extremely excited. She just needed to know the way those people gave money. Definitely, she would get a lot of money, even a month's rent wouldn't matter. From an ugly duck, Destiny gradually turned into a phoenix. She went to buy a car and a branded bag with Ramona. After that, the two of them drove and went sightseeing together. Even Ramona let Destiny live in a luxury house. While they were making a lot of money, unexpectedly something happened to them. The economy was gradually falling into a serious crisis. In 2008, the business of the disco became bleak. However, Destiny got pregnant unexpectedly and later gave birth to a daughter. After knowing about this, her boyfriend immediately left. In order to raise her daughter, she just had to change another job. She went to an interview to work as a cashier, but people criticized her because she had no experience. She couldn't work as a nanny because she had a baby. There was no other way, she had to return to the disco. However, the current discotheque was no longer as bustling and crowded as before. Even the mistress of the discotheque had to work as a guard. Customers were also sparser, so the money was also very little. Customers were getting more and more demanding. Although she tried to please them, she only received very little money. Therefore, Destiny felt extremely helpless. Fortunately, the person who once helped her in the past accidentally appeared. It was Ramona. These guys in suits just got off work. Actually, they were the easiest objects to be scammed money. They had worked hard all day, so they were more likely to find a bar to drinking and relaxing. This girl was looking at that man who wore an expensive watch. She approached him, and they looked at each other passionately. Taking advantage of the opportunity, her accomplices also pretended to join in. The 3 women teamed up together. They in turn gave the official a drink to make him drunk. When he got drunk, they pretended to flatter him and invited him to the disco. They did it because they wanted to take away his credit card. Before that, they negotiated with the owner of the disco. If it was successful, they would split the money with her. However, the process of defrauding money wasn't always smooth. Some people only had a flashy appearance, but they didn't have money. Some people simply didn't care about them. After that, Destiny also joined in. The 4 of them worked together, and they would definitely catch the target. As expected, the billionaires all fell into their plans. Since then, they had earned more and more money. Ramona already had money to send her children to school. Destiny was able to pay off the family's debt. The black girl also found a good job. And the girl with curly hair could rent a better house. Since having money, their life had become more comfortable. After that, Ramona decided to scale up. The 4 of them split up to serve the newcomers. The 2 teams worked together, so the money was also much more. But at that time, they got into trouble. Their way of making money had been copied by others. As for the things in the disco, they didn't care too much. Anyway, they made more money. Ramona was still angry. We have the ability to monopolize this place, why should we share it with those people? Ramona immediately changed tactics. They brought those drunken rich guys directly to the hotel. And then took all their credit cards. However, Destiny felt extremely insecure. Ramona's greed was getting bigger and bigger. She thought of all kinds of ways to get money from old customers. And also found many other girls to join. Even for those with a criminal record, she also allowed them to join the group. After that, there were many terrible things happening to them. Things they never thought about. This girl was counting 3 large stacks of cash. And intentionally hid the money, even the waiter didn't notice. These girls were originally bar dancers. Based on their beauty, choreography and cunning schemes, They made a huge amount of money in a short time. They started shopping for branded clothes and lived in luxury apartments. Actually, this was a true story and made into a movie. So what would their ending be? Because of the greed, Ramona constantly expanded scam groups. This girl with red hair was a newcomer. This made Destiny extremely worried. Because that girl had a criminal record, slow movements, and poor memory. Destiny really hated her. However, Ramona only knew how to make money. And didn't know the police department just received a phone call. There was a man who was once scammed money by a girl with red hair going to the police. After that, that girl was arrested and confessed everything. I'll take all the blame. Don't lock me up again. Because in order to catch the dancer's scam line, the police made a deal with her. She pretended she couldn't deal with the target, so she called both Ramona and Destiny to help. However, the whole process was monitored by the police. Destiny had some doubts, but Ramona told her not to worry. Unexpectedly, the next day, when Ramona went to the ATM to withdraw money, she just turned around and was immediately surrounded by the police. The black girl and the girl with the curly hair were also arrested. And finally Destiny had to confess. Their group was once glorious. At this time, they were all locked up in the prison. At first, they agreed that they would not reveal the leader, although Destiny tried to hide. But finally she still couldn't overcome a saying from the police. Think of your child. Finally, she still had to confess. Ramona was extremely angry. But after knowing that Destiny did it because of her daughter, Ramona decided to forgive her. She hugged Destiny one last time. And then left. Many years later, Destiny told the story of this group of dancers to a reporter in New York. When telling, sometimes she burst into tears, sometimes she felt helpless. Actually, she didn't feel proud of what she did. But she just couldn't forget Ramona. When seeing Destiny so heartbreaking, the reporter told her, "I once went to see Ramona." Hearing that, Destiny was so surprised that she asked the reporter, "Did she mention me?" The reporter just smiled. The reporter once had an interview with Ramona. She worked as a cashier. When Ramona finished telling the story, she suddenly took out a picture of Destiny from her pocket and said some very touching words. "If we could have met earlier, maybe we could have taken care of each other. Perhaps our lives won't go down that wrong path either. But I still like to keep her picture with me." After hearing the reporter's words, Destiny was extremely touched and burst into tears.